Don't forget to like and subscribe, and share your opinion down below. Am I the idiot for not telling my wife that I had agreed to be a guardian before we even met? I have always said I didn't want kids of my own. However, I became very close with my niece and nephew. I babysat them. They've spent weekends with me. When they were little, my brother and sister-in-law asked me to be their guardian should anything happen to them. I agreed, because they are truly the only kids I could see myself raising. Niece is now 11 years old and nephew is 10 years old. I got married 3 years ago and my wife felt the same as me about not having kids. She's very good to my niece and nephew. However, I never told her about what I agreed to with my brother and sister-in-law. Last year, my sister-in-law passed quite unexpectedly. It's been very hard on my brother. My wife and I have been helping him out a lot. Last week, my brother sat us down and said he was updating his own will. He got a sizable life insurance policy from sister-in-law's death and he's put most of it into trusts for the kids. He wanted us to be in charge of the trusts in the event of his passing. We agreed. Then my brother mentioned adding my wife as guardian in the will as we never did that. My wife was confused, and I told her that before we even met, I had agreed to be the kids' guardian. She got all freaked out and started saying we agreed on no kids, this wasn't no kids, etc. This started upsetting my brother as he worried his kids wouldn't have anyone to raise them. We're literally the only options. I told my brother that I'd talk to my wife about it. She's pretty pissed that I never told her this before. I told her it shouldn't matter, would she really let these kids be orphaned if their dad died? I said my brother dying probably isn't going to happen before they're 18. She pointed out we didn't think sister-in-law would either. She basically relented and said she'd become guardian, but I'd be doing all of the work with them. I called her selfish for viewing my niece and nephew as a burden. Now we're barely talking. My friend has told me that I am being an idiot and I can't be surprised at my wife's reaction. Upon further reflection, I wonder if he's right. Am I the idiot? You are the idiot. Your wife is right. This should have come up and is a deal breaker. You can decide this for yourself, but you cannot make this decision for her. Your argument is weak at best. You are the idiot. No kids means no kids. There's no asterisk. She was quite clear with you. She doesn't have any responsibility to these children, and it's wrong for you to guilt her for not feeling obligated. You are the idiot here. You two agreed on no kids at all and now she's suddenly had it sprung on her that there's a chance she will be guardian of not 1 but 2 kids. That's seriously messed up and you're an idiot for thinking it doesn't matter. You really should have told her. And you're an idiot for calling her selfish when you're the one who broke the agreement, especially when she assumed the kids would go to one of your 4 other siblings, which also means you're not the only option as you keep saying. Am I the idiot for exposing my father's crime against me on Facebook? Am I the idiot for exposing my father's crime against me to family over Facebook? Am I the idiot for posting my father's crime against me along with the mountains of evidence I have in support of my claim? 5 years ago, my father stole my identity to open a $7,000 line of credit in my name. He has paid this loan off and was consistent, mostly, in doing so. I was not, at any point prior, aware of his plans to open this line of credit, nor did I consent to it. If my bank had not sent paperwork to my address, I'd never know. After ruling out all possibilities, I established that my dad must have done this. There was no other explanation, given what the $sign was for. So, I brought an arbitrary third party to serve as witness when I went to confront him with these allegations. He was visibly panicked, and he did not deny these allegations. To this day he has not denied these allegations. Everyone I talked to recommended I go to law enforcement. I just could not do it. In Florida, given the fact this crime was for over $5,000, if he were to be convicted it would be a minimum of 3 years. I just can't do that. It just doesn't feel like an option. Fast forward to 2018. My father went to jail for several unrelated charges. His girlfriend at the time, the beneficiary of said crime, was basically communicating to me on his behalf. She told me they expect me to foot the bill for the loan he fraudulently opened in my name and come up with $14,500 to bail him out. I was 22 years old. She went on to say unpleasant things and different guilt trips because I refused to pay a penny to this loan. That was the day I told myself that I must remove myself from the relationship. I did not speak to my father since Christmas time this past year. Fast forward to present day. I'm alone. I have no family. No extended family, nothing. I'm certainly not perfect, but he has not seen his relationships with any of the aforementioned impacted in the least bit. He's had years to ingrain his version of events to each of them. I've tried to reintroduce myself with family, and it's always competitive. I am not innocent in participating. They know nothing of these things he's done, and how else am I to start this conversation? So, I compiled my evidence and I offered complete transcripts of my messages between me and my father, 52 messages, 4,800 words, and they are damning. I've also published screenshots from his ex-girlfriend that are also quite damning. Particularly one where she says how if the loan is not paid while my dad was in jail, it would affect my credit. Close bracket. So, I kept my dad out of prison and allowed him to build a new life. I paid the price, in more ways than one. I posted all of this and tagged every single family member I have on Facebook. Many have reacted and my father has been quite vocal to others but has not said a word to me. Reddit. Am I the idiot for airing out dirty family laundry all over Facebook? Not the idiot. I hope you've decided to pursue charges now that you know there's even more going on with your credit. In the meantime, freeze your credit so this can't be done again. Not the idiot. But it probably also won't solve anything. You should have pressed charges against him and the girlfriend as an accessory to the crime. Not sure what statute of limitations is on this, but you need to freeze your credit and worry about the damage control for that instead of how a bunch of easily led people feel about you, without ever having gotten your version of what happened. You're the idiot for doing this on Facebook instead of going to the police in the first place. You didn't deserve what he did to you and you shouldn't have to deal with the consequences, but airing out your family drama to the world on Facebook is always an idiot move. If you have this mountain of evidence, why didn't you just show it to family members before they all stopped talking to you? Seems like this passive-aggressive method of confrontation could have been completely avoided with some better communication earlier on. Am I the idiot for telling my sister she needs to contain her kids or leave our home? I 26/F live with my partner 27/M. His grandmother 82/F gifted him the house, and the three of us live together. She is blind, and we help her out, though she is fairly self-sufficient still. My sister has 2 children, 8 and 5. Her husband suffers from early onset dementia and was moved into a care facility shortly before the first lockdown happened in my country. While fortunately we do have universal health care, still the combination of the cost of the care facility and not having a second wage made my sister unable to stay in their old home. I talked with my boyfriend, and as the house is quite large, we said she could temporarily stay with us, especially as it's been hell trying to find new accommodation now. However, we do feel she's starting to outstay her welcome. The main issue is, she's letting the kids run loose everywhere. You have to understand that this house is pretty big. We're letting them stay downstairs. They have a bedroom, a study, a small living room kitchenette, a toilet and a shower. It's essentially a small, fully functional apartment. The floor above it has a bigger kitchen, living room, dining room, where they are also sometimes welcome for common meals. Upstairs is me and boyfriend's room, boyfriend's grandma's room, another bathroom, and a study. Work-wise, my boyfriend currently works fully remotely, and I work part-time and part-time study, also all remotely. We both need room space. When we are both in Zoom calls, generally one of us takes the upstairs study, and one the living room on the middle floor. Grandma will often also be there. She's quite a low-maintenance person, and it's perfectly possibly okay to work while she's listening to audiobooks on headphones or she's cooking. Yes, she still does. Now I have told my sister that they need to stay downstairs while we are working. I think they have plenty of space. Yet, the kids keep coming upstairs for whatever reason regularly while one of us is working. They also keep toys around, and grandma has already stepped on them a few times, hurting herself. My sister will also do things like use things from our fridge, which would be okay, but she doesn't restock. I found out that one day when I was out shopping one of the kids had been in our bedroom, as some of my drawers had been rummaged through. My partner was also really not happy that the kids had been in our room unsupervised. To me this was the last straw. I feel like we have been super hospitable, but she's taking over the whole house, not keeping the kids under control when we are working and disrespecting our hospitality. I told her this is the last warning and that if she keeps doing this, we will ask her to leave. She was in tears, saying I was mean, that my nephew and niece are just being kids, that she can't move now, but I'm tired of it. I feel like a stranger in our home. Am I the idiot for setting this ultimatum? Not the idiot. Your sister is allowing her children to endanger the safety and health of an 82-year-old woman who is the reason you and your partner had the ability to generously offer her a place to stay. That alone is reason enough to kick her out. If my daughter could learn at 3 years old not to leave toys laying around when we visited a blind friend down the street, kids who are 5 and 8 can learn that common decency as well. The problem is that your sister refuses to use the word no with them. And it's going to make her homeless. Not the idiot. You are a saint for letting her stay as long as she has, I'm assuming rent-free, and she can't follow your short list of demands? I don't think it's unreasonable to ask her to not invade your personal spaces, stay in their living area during your work time, not raid your fridge unless she contributes to what goes into it. She is taking advantage of you and your kindness. Don't let her push you around. Not the idiot. Kids are kids, but she isn't giving them a limit, just letting them do whatever they want. And it's not even her house. You're being nice letting them be there. The minimum to do is respect your rules. Give her a couple days, and if she doesn't respect it, kick her out. You gave plenty of warning. Am I the idiot for keeping it real with my older sister and refusing to continue being gentle and enabling her? My older sister, Marnie, 38F, is a stay-at-home mom to Ava, 11F. Ava is pretty severely mentally disabled. The disability Ava has is 100% completely proven to be absolutely preventable, and I know for a fact that Ava does in fact have this as her only diagnosis. My family help Marnie and her husband out a lot with Ava. She's good with us because we do fun activities and keep her preoccupied with things she enjoys. We play, and she tells us that she loves us as best as she can. I totally believe that Ava acted up with Marnie. I never denied that she did, but I went over, and Ava was having an absolute tantrum and Marnie was screaming at her right back. Marnie threw Ava's puzzle to the floor because Ava had gotten into her makeup. My mom got everything under control and Marnie just sat with me and cried. She basically said this: "You have no idea how hard it is for me to look at her. I can't even treat her like a human being. I wish I'd never had her and I could put her into foster care. She's completely ruined my life and I'm exhausted. She's an emotional vampire and her presence is overbearing and endless. She ruined my life, and I can't keep up this charade of being the perfect mother anymore." So, I finally snapped. I was in the room 6 years ago when the doctor told Marnie the diagnosis, so I know for a fact it's true. I used to babysit Ava for 72 hours every week so Marnie could have 3 days off to decompress, and my aunt moved in to take care of Ava 24/7. We were the ones who changed all the diapers and fed and cared for Ava, and I know what it's like very well because I had Ava for 3 days straight. My mom had her for the other 3, and my aunt took care of her at Marnie's home every Tuesdays. I said, "I understand you're tired and upset, but you don't have the right to scream at Ava. Do you think she's happy? No, she's suffering. What she has is a completely avoidable condition, but you damned her. So why don't you have some fucking compassion towards your daughter and grow up and be a mother? You've never done it before on your own and I think it's high time that you did." Double quote. My family has decided to stop enabling Marnie. We're not going to be involved anymore. She can get help from the state and go back to work and put Ava in a residential school where she'd be happier. Marnie's husband's family called me up, confront me about the struggles of raising a child with Downs, and called me a stupid bimbo for abandoning Ava and Marnie. I basically told them that Ava didn't have Downs and to frock off. They never lifted a finger to help, and my family did it all for free, and we've decided to stop the enabling. Marnie's got her mommy blogger friends on me, but I refuse to apologize and ever help her again. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Fetal alcohol syndrome is your sister's fault, and yet she's lying to her in-laws about her diagnosis. If she is incapable of taking care of her child, she needs to get help or give her up. Removing her help may force her to accept the truth of her situation, even if she never accepts responsibility of her actions. Info: can you tell us what the diagnosis is? You say it was preventable. If so, by whom? Are we talking about fetal alcohol syndrome? I'm completely at sea here. Yes, Ava has a severe form of fetal alcohol syndrome, as well as pretty severe complications from bacterial meningitis that Marnie allowed to get out of control before she took Ava to the hospital to be treated. Not the idiot. I feel for Ava. The poor thing has a neglectful mother who doesn't care about getting her better. Hopefully, she's doing better at the residential school. There's no need for babying your sister. She needs to step and take responsibility.